Live at daybreak, this is 13 News Now.
We're actively searching right now. So we're trying to rescue someone in the water. So we're actively searching.
Happening right now, the search for a missing crew member after that deadly helicopter crash off the coast of Virginia Beach.
Now, the Navy says 2 crew members are dead, 2 others are recovering in the hospital.
We'll, of course, have in-depth coverage for you throughout 13 News Now at daybreak on this developing story. Good Thursday morning to you all. I'm Vanessa Correa.
And I'm LaSalle Blankson. Right now, I'm in the 13 News Now weather lab with Julie, who's in for Craig. And Julie, important task for you this morning, tracking the current conditions as they still continue to search for this missing crew member.
That's right. And luckily, it's cold, not as cold as it has been out there, but we do have the generally calm conditions, so we're not talking about storms or anything like that. In fact, we can show you here on radar. We'll talk some more about that in detail, exactly when that wet weather is going to arrive. Details coming up in a few. First, though, we'll check in with Ashley. Good morning.
Good morning, Julie. Traffic flow is very light and steady across the area. Traffic is shaping up 64 eastbound at the HRBT.
It is day 2 of rescue efforts after that deadly Navy helicopter crash while you were asleep. An all-night search has been going on.
That's right. Navy and Coast Guard crews are still trying to find the crewman who is missing. 13 News Now reporter Carl Limer is following those efforts going on right now live in Virginia Beach. Carl.
Yeah, they have been actively searching for this missing crew member since yesterday morning. There is still hope that he can be found alive right now. The Coast Guard cutter Shearwater is patrolling the area where the helicopter went down. And coming up at 5, I'll tell you why rescue crews are still optimistic that this final crew member can be found alive. Live in Virginia Beach, Carl Limer, 13 News Now.
All right, as for the 2 crew members still in the hospital right now, one is in serious condition, the other is in fair condition. 2 others were taken to the hospital as well. They died. Take a look at this video now. Dan Tuckfield captured these scenes. Crews rushing the rescued crew members to Centera Norfolk General Hospital yesterday. That helicopter landing there so they can get the medical treatment they need. Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll hear from someone who saw the crew members being unloaded off of that rescue helicopter.
Here's how Wednesday unfolded. The initial call of distress came in at about 10:45 yesterday morning, according to the Virginia Beach Fire Department. The Coast Guard reports hearing the crash and responding right away. Now, about a half hour later, at 11:15, 2 Navy helicopters assigned to the same squadron quickly rushed to the scene, spotting 4 of the sailors close to the wreckage floating in the water. 2 of them spent about 25 to 30 minutes in the water, which was about 41 degrees at the time. Now, at 11:38, 10 minutes after the first rescue, the Navy reports hoisting up 2 more sailors from the water. And around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, that's when we got word. 13 News Now reported 1 of the 4 sailors taken to the hospital was confirmed dead. And finally, around 7 o'clock last night, more bad news. We learned another sailor had died at the hospital. As we've been telling you this morning, the search for the 5th crew member is ongoing right now, and we will, of course, continue following those efforts for you throughout the morning. Our coverage continues for you live right now on WVEC.com and on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter with the hashtag NavyHeloDown.
4:36 right now. In his final State of the Commonwealth address, Governor McDonnell makes a big apology. Find out what he said about the gift scandal that's brought controversy to his administration. Plus, video of an armed robbery as it's happening. Can you help police catch the suspect? Police say he played a role in an officer-involved accident.
It's been snowing off and on all night on the peninsula, and the roads are covered. Coming up, I'll tell you what you can expect as you're waking up this morning.
Snow continuing to fall and accumulate here in Elizabeth City. We'll have a live report coming up.
That is Virginia Beach Boulevard, where heavy snow continues to fall. We're counting 6 inches and more here. I'm Joe Flanagan. That is my car. We're here. We'll be here all morning. We'll have the story. Stay with us.
From the peninsula to northeast North Carolina, 13 News Now has complete coverage in storm mode.
Yep, we have crews in the field. Julie manning the ice desk, Ashley working the traffic network, and Craig, of course, in the weather lab. Everything you need to know is right here, right now.
Let's start with the Weather Authority. Craig, snow still coming down in some spots. How are we doing?
The snow is winding down, but there's still blowing snow. I went out and took a look. I had to measure for myself what was going on just outside our studios. 6.5 inches here in our part parking lots in downtown Norfolk. So that's what we've picked up. And again, that was a wind-protected area, so we didn't get the blowing and drifting that some other folks have been reporting. Temperatures cold today, highs topping out in the mid to upper 20s. Let's check in now with Ashley and see what she's watching.
All right. Well, actually, we do have a couple of heads up for folks. We do have some bridge lifts to report. Wherever you're traveling, stick with us. We'll do another check on traffic in just a few minutes.
We have a number of closures and delays, as you would imagine. Many school districts have canceled classes today. You can find all of those closures scrolling right along the bottom of your screens here. Just take a look at them. You can also log on to WVEC.com for the latest updated information. Our entire web staff is in this morning. You're also going to find blogs from our reporters on WVEC.com who are out in the field. We are tweeting using the hashtag HRSnow.
Speaking about our crews out in the field, we're all over the place for you this morning, including North Carolina, where it's still been snowing.
Yeah, last time we checked in with Nick Oxner, it was coming down right behind him. There's a state of emergency there. And look, as you can see, still coming down. Nick, how you doing?
Yeah, that snow is still falling here, and I want to show you why you shouldn't be out on the roads right now. Sandra had an 18-wheeler. We don't have that, but we do have a couple cars stuck down the road here. They're reporting live. Nick Oxner, 13 News Now.
There is sad news out of North Carolina right now. The winter storm turned deadly. 2 people were killed in 2 different accidents in Surrey County, North Carolina. We're told the first one happened near Elkin. The second happened near Mount Airy. In both cases, the drivers lost control and a passenger in the car was killed.
When the snow hit last week, one of the hardest hit areas was the peninsula. Heavy snow led to power outages there and, of course, dangerous road conditions. Let's check in with 13 News Now reporter Carl Leimer. He is in Newport News, where he's been all morning. And I know the snow has tapered off, but how are the roads looking, Carl?
Hey, Vanessa LaSalle. Well, you know, the roads, they're getting plowed slowly but surely. We've seen the plows move through here. That's the latest live here in Newport News. Carl Leimer, 13 News Now.
In just the last few minutes, we've taken you to Elizabeth City, we've taken you to Newport News, and now we're going to take you to Norfolk and to our ice desk. Meteorologist Julie Wilcox is here. And Julie, I know you want to share some information about how the road crews are doing here in Norfolk. And one interesting note, another 12 loads of snow hauled out of downtown and taken to Harbor Park overnight.
Poor Harbor Park, that's right. That's the depository for some of the snow. Please stay inside, because Craig's going to tell you, it's even once the snow stops falling, and we're seeing it really starting to rapidly decrease, it's still not, you still don't want to be out here.
It's that 1-2 punch of not only the snow falling, but then those frigid cold temperatures. They're going to cause the ice and all of the bad conditions on the road to continue through the day.
Yeah, a couple of interesting things. While this snow, occurred in a very, very cold air mass, it's very light and fluffy for areas north and west. A drift, and that you take several measurements and then you kind of average them out. So that'll give you a real good indication. Snow is winding down, still continuing for northeast North Carolina. We'll be watching this, and it'll be this area basically from Back Bay south that still deals with the snow. It'll wind down for Knott's Island within the next half an hour, but linger probably another hour or so, maybe a couple hours down towards Kill Devil Hills. Very light activity there. Temperatures today topping out around 27 degrees. It's going to be chilly. 14 the low tonight, 32 tomorrow, 26 tomorrow night, and then a nice little warm up for the weekend. Chances for showers early next week. All right, we're going to check on the roads again. Traffic volumes have been light, but what a mess out there, Ashley.
Yeah, Craig, we've seen a good number of disabled vehicles. We've seen a number of accidents, ramp restrictions, a lot going on with this snow event. We have a few folks out there right now. And speaking of folks on the roads, I want to head to one of our photographers, Brad, who's actually out driving right now between Norfolk and Portsmouth, putting us live right behind the wheel. And you can see how things are shaping up if you have to head out. As you can see, he's not really sharing the roads with anyone, so that's a bit of good news for you. And things are starting to clear up here on the roads. You can see we can kind of make out a little bit of asphalt out there. Not much, though. It's still kind of that steady sheet of snow, and it's going to be some dangerous conditions if you have to travel. But again, that's kind of your live look behind the wheel if you have to head out the door right now. Now, stick with us. We'll keep you posted on how things are shaping up throughout the morning. As of right now, not a lot of traffic activity, but certainly some incidents to keep up with.
Let's get a look at some secondary roads in Norfolk. Sandra Parker's been out in Ghent all morning long, and there's been some issues out there.
Yeah, snow crews have been out there. They've been working hard. There's a shift change coming up at 7 this morning, so that's about 45 minutes from right now. But how are things looking in Norfolk right now? 13 News anchor Sandra Parker has been out there. And first off, Sandra, Tell them how you got stuck this morning.
Yes, I got stuck. In fact, there's a car, I don't know, can you still see it, Jason? There's a car that was just stuck in the same type of situation we had this morning. It was right here at this intersection, 21st and Collie. Can you kind of see it? It's going, Jason's moving a little bit here. You can see, uh-oh, and a big car's coming around it. Holy cow, okay. The car is, he keeps getting stuck and going back and forth. He actually had another car that came behind it and tried to push him a little bit, and that didn't even help. I mean, poor guy, he's stuck there a little bit. There's a couple of them, they're working on it, so they're doing okay. It really is bad out there. When big rigs are getting stuck, you know it's bad, guys. Stay in, don't get out on the roads.
All right, thank you, Sandra, for that update on the situation with the big rig and the roads out there. We've seen a little bit of everything this morning.
Yeah, what Sandra just said, I bet Jim Reddick wants to say to you right now, too. He's with the City of Norfolk, Director of Emergency Operations. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, LaSalle. How are you this morning?
Good. All right, what are your thoughts when you see all these drivers spinning out and getting stuck in some of the roads in Norfolk right now?
Exactly what you guys have been saying. If you can stay off the roads, please do. And if you have to be out, be extra cautious, especially over the bridges and overpasses. It is a mess out there.
Jim, how did you guys mobilize for this coming storm, and what do you guys have going on to try to make the situation better and get the roads clear and keep people safe?
Well, we have been monitoring the situation, the conditions forecasted. We got together early on. Our public works, utilities, a lot of our private sector partners and not-for-profit. There's a bunch of us that work together, including...
All right. Thank you, Jim Reddick from City of Virginia Beach, the Director of Emergency Operations for Norfolk. I'm sorry, I said Virginia Beach for Norfolk.
Thank you,
Jim.
All right, hang in there. Thank you, sir. So let's talk about the situation now and the days ahead.
You heard from him, 8 inches across much of Norfolk. I mean, this was it. We're talking 6 to 10 across the south side in the forecast. And again, the forecast is verified beautifully from what we were saying yesterday.